Come on. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to First Ring Podcast. I am your co-host today, Cedric, aka Blink 71. We got a nice little show today. We all running late because we got regular jobs as well. We gotta handle that first. We gotta handle that business. So since we don't handle that business, we're gonna jump in here into this podcast to talk about some of the things we see is coming on so far. One off the top, NBA Conference Finals. Wow, these playoffs. Wow, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. Caitlin Clark, team she's on struggling 0 for 4. Somebody wants to know, has the hype died down? Boxing, Tyson Fury and is it Alexander Usyk fall for undisputed heavyweight championship this weekend. Then we got, we're gonna try to slide a little leaking over there if we can. Biggest disappointment so far, We're gonna do what we can. We're gonna get this started. For those of you who were a little patient with us today, again, we got real job like everybody else. So we're gonna jump in here. We're gonna get this started. We're gonna keep this moving. Welcome, First Ring Podcast.
Yeah.
First Stream Podcast. Yeah. True Danny. Dre on the beat. Yeah. What's your favorite squad? Tell me who you going with. First Stream Podcast, yeah, we keep it lit. We got the latest updates, we don't pump fake. Like, comment, share, we don't care, feel free to hate. We got great guests, join us, you should chime in. Trudini on the intro for the time being. Lady A, representing Washington. Pick Washington, everything Washington. Mo coming out of Dallas, know the business. Said, them Georgia Bulldogs ain't quitting. Yeah, if you ain't watching sports, you ain't living. About to get my mattress Mac on, about to bet $1 million, bet $1 million. Let's talk about it. We all grown and cool, we can talk about it. Before we hit the news, we gon' talk about it. Oh, you wanna bet? Let's pop a bottle bow. Yeah.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. First Ring Podcast. I will be your co-host today. I will be trying to I will be trying to get this started, keep it running, keep it in the right direction. We're going today. It's gonna be an OG classic, maybe. With that being said, I feel the leader pick. He should be checking in with us. He's out in the area right now, so he should be checking with us as well. So with that being said, we're gonna bring in the next person that we have highlighted for the day, the one who brings the fines, the one who brings the sunshine, and one who sees the simmer down now. Live herself, Lady A.
I am definitely going to say simmer down now. I am going to tell you to you have to believe me when I tell you this, and I will forever say simmer down. It's gonna be my word.
For sure. I seen Aunt Mo. We left about the same time, so depending on his traffic situation, I had a little Bobby Weed going, and he said he almost there. He gonna join as soon as he get there as well.
Right.
So it's just one of them days.
You on the way?
It's just one of them days.
I knew you were gonna sing it.
It was right there. I was like, no, don't do it.
I was like, he about to say it's just one of them. You about to hit it with the Monica.
Hey, she is from Georgia.
Well, you're right.
Okay. We're gonna wait for this one part for Ant, because I know he really wants to get into this the conference finals, because his team is in there. So
yeah, and they playing right now. Well, not his team, but
they didn't already start. Let me.
Yeah,
I had turned my TV on yet.
Quarter, Pacers Celtics.
I don't have my TV on. I don't have my TV on just yet.
Okay, just know that it's the end of the first quarter. So
in the first quarter, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's still got a little something going on there.
Right, got a little time left. But they scoring.
Okay, it's competitive early.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They scoring.
It's competitive early. For those who are paying attention to what we're saying, the first game of the conference finals, Indiana versus Boston, has started.
And they out the gate.
Yeah, so I mean,
right out the gate.
Let me say this right quick. Okay, so One of the things that come out of NFL so far is the retirement of David Johnson.
Yes.
He was a big back in the old NFL. New NFL, they really even utilize the small backs unless they can slide out and catch a pass. So with him retiring, is at the end of the NFL size of NFL backs, because they're not very, with the exception of Henry. Name another big NFL back in NFL.
And real talk, he's not that tall anyway.
I mean, he's not that tall, man. I mean, he's thick, but
right.
I
can't remember how much David Johnson weighs, but I know he's like 6'1".
Right.
Yeah, he's not that tall when it comes to other positions, obviously, but I've seen some running backs that are shorter than me. So
yeah, Andre Swift, he's short. The Cook brothers, take a pick.
Yeah,
both of them are short.
Yeah,
but it always be seen. Even what's the young man name that was drafted from Alabama? It would you're not gonna know. It's Detroit.
Not you throwing me shade about my shade.
But he not tall either, but he got top speed, and that seems to be the thing that's going on. That seems to be the theme with the NFL, even with the amount of games being played, even though the amount of pass being played, is a lot of times still coming down to which team can run the ball.
Right.
So it's hard trying to understand why running backs are falling off as much as they are.
Well, we said numerous times that the running back, that position itself has it receives so much, I guess you would say, scrutiny. It's almost like they think they don't need them, but we've seen it. They need them.
Right.
And it's crazy that we're saying, I just want to put this into perspective. It's really crazy that we're saying that he's retiring and that he's coming from the old NFL. And this young man was born in 91.
Mm-hmm.
And already his position is like obsolete. He's not that old. But, times change. He's 31, but he's the old head because you got people coming in 21. It's like, what?
Yeah, he's
32.
Oh, yeah, but he's still considered an old head. I mean, we laughing about it, but in this NFL, they're looking for younger cores of players.
Yeah.
And
especially in that position, because that is very physical, like that's not you're a running back. We already know that their lifespan in the NFL is not that long.
And that's what.
Well, I mean, think about the position and think about what they have to go through. That's a lot on you. That's one of the more physical positions.
That's not what I'm breathing hard. I'm breathing hard because we talk about that. And Atlanta took a running back in the first round last year.
I mean, you can get not saying that you can't get a good running back that can last a while. However, we know that they tend to retire. Like, you're not going to catch this man playing until he's 38. No. He got out at a good time, 32. So it depends, but it's sad to see him go. I'm sure that you understand that a good player is a good player.
Right.
So, and he lasted 8 seasons, right? 8 seasons. Yeah. That's a while that's a good run for a running back.
It is. That is. That's man. It's not. It seems like 9 years is a lot, but it just in some way it seems like it's just not that much.
Right. Think about it. You always got to go back to his position. Right. 8 years in that position. Think about the hits that he's had. That's a lot. And he's not as small as some of the running backs now, but he's 6'1", and he's not as big as the linemen that are in front of him. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's a lot. That's a lot of that you're putting wear and tear on your body, you know. So
let me yell at people in the chat right quick.
Yell at them.
Sorry, you guys. This was a late stream setup, but thank you guys joined us. Bruce Wayne, one of the first ones to the chat. Thank you, Bruce, for showing up. Come to show us some love all the time. Oh, you got him. Sorry, I didn't see that. and then we got Dump Truck Don. He hit us with the Mister. You have to learn how to put a hat in the chat so we know it's him. He said, "Sun shining fine." Hey, all I can do is put it out there. And then Bruce Wayne's giving an update on the first quarter game, 34-31 Boston after the first quarter. Don Trentone said, "Who retired?" I put it in the chat. David Johnson, he retired. We're just discussing that, how man, it just seems like it was that long, but it is.
So Don, that's not nice.
That's not the point, Don.
But this man, wasn't he like all pro or something?
Yeah.
He was all pro running back. That's not nice. Don is so.
Let's. You know what? Let me. I'm glad we got. Let's talk about NFL right quick before we get too far. We get too far along. What do you think about the Marvin Harrison situation?
Are you asking me or are you asking Aunt Mo?
I'm asking you. Aunt Mo, just tell me what you think about the Marvin Harrison situation currently.
You want me to
Okay. Let me about the licensing that he's refusing to. Well, I shouldn't say refusing to sign. That he has not signed yet since he's been in the NFL. It's becoming a big deal.
Well, you have to look at he's very young, right?
Mm-hmm.
So also keep in mind that when he was in college, what was the fight of a college player?
You get paid.
For what?
Your likeness. For the likeness.
For your likeness.
Right.
When it comes to licensing and things like that, he is in an era where I'm going to put my foot down when it comes to certain things that I believe in.
Mm.
And so, I can't necessarily blame him. He's not going along with the flow of things. Mm-hmm. He's actually questioning, like, hey, what does this mean for me? How is this going to line my pockets? How is this going to affect me? So I understand to a degree. I understand where he's coming from. Is he choosing the right way to approach this conversation? Maybe not. It's up to the person, and I don't know all the inside details, but I understand he's doing it because of the era of football that he's coming from.
Right. But the thing is now is that one of my favorite stores, shout out to Fanatics. We'll see y'all later so we get some we'll get with y'all later. Anyway, he's being sued by Fanatics.
Right.
Fanatics had him sign a deal in college.
Huh? Aren't the Cardinals being sued too now?
I don't know about the Cardinals. I haven't seen that part yet. But he's been sued by Fanatics because he signed a deal with them. Supposedly they signed a deal with them in college. Supposedly. Right. I haven't seen the paperwork. This is kind of what I've been reading.
Right.
I've been reading that, he signed. I haven't seen the paperwork for anybody asked. But he signed a deal with them in college. Mm-hmm. And now that he's in the NFL,
correct,
he's not signing the licensing deal for the NFL, so they can't sell his jerseys.
Correct.
So now they're like, wait a minute, we've already paid you.
Right.
We need you to sign this deal so we can start selling these jerseys with the paper.
It's a breach of contract suit. It is. And that's why I said I don't know if he is going about this the right way. I don't know the details on it, but if it is in fact a breach of contract, that his stupidity for that. You have to know your contract before you take a stance like that. I know why he's probably doing it. He's asking questions. That's not how you bring the conversation up. You might have a contract renegotiation. You get your lawyers to look over it. You get them to advise you, all kinds of things. Because what you don't want is a company like Fanatics to sue you. That's the problem.
So we like to welcome one of our co-hosts. I left him at a high-speed chase, but he made it in. He outran the Dallas Cowboys and got here before OTA started.
But I survived. So let me give a little context, guys, going back really quick.
Okay.
So the thing about the David Johnson, seeing him retire is, to be honest, he wasn't as memorable because his career was very short in some ways because he was always injured. If it wasn't a wrist, it was a foot, it was surgeries. And so it brought me to a question that I asked Lou last show when we were off, and it had to do with, like, who was the last dominant back to lead somebody to a Super Bowl? And his answer was Jerome Bettis. And I'm like, so the bus, this big dominant guy, once he gets going, he's downhill. It's hard to stop him, right?
Right.
And it made me think about guys that were more physically imposing, maybe like a Jamal Anderson, maybe like what's his name, Jacobs, that played for the Giants, Brandon Jacobs.
Okay.
Just that caliber. Even if we're going back to the Eric Dickersons, like the OJ Simpsons, those were more bigger guys, not necessarily because they were all like 6'4", 6'5", but they were really, like, no joke, girthy, more, had a lot of weight on them, 6'1", 6'2", but they could really give you a pounding. So when I think about that, I'm like, is that back dying off? Because with the infusion of the Darren Sproles and just that type and caliber of a running back, we now see that you're not seeing as much of a need for that type, for the bigger guy, because they don't seem to last that long.
Yeah.
Even if you look at like a Derrick Henry, he's been injured a lot.
Yeah.
In his career. And if you can corral him at the line of scrimmage, he's rendered ineffective almost.
Mm-hmm.
Once he gets into the secondary, that's when he's more dangerous.
Well, that's what I was saying about the position and the punishment that you put on yourself in that position. That's why, like, now David is retiring after 8 years. So that's a good run. Wait, you
sorry, I was on mute. When was the last time he played in the NFL?
But that's what I'm saying. That's a lot on him. That's the reason why you're hurt. That's the reason why you see these guys in these positions of not being able to play, because it's a lot. That's a very physical position.
Yeah, I was looking at my brother's comment. That's my actual brother there, Cadero Badge. He said Marion Barber, Marshawn Lynch. But both of those guys definitely had a certain build as well.
Yeah.
Marshawn wasn't dominant. Guys. He had places where he was.
Marshawn was absolutely dominant.
Hold on, I went like this, Ant went like this.
We're going back to Buffalo. He was dominant.
He wasn't dominant. Now, come on now.
Dominant?
He had games he wasn't dominant either. I mean,
what's his face?
You can go back and pick holes to all of them.
What's his name?
I mean, even what's his name? Davis. Even Davis, who played with Denver, won the Super Bowl.
David, that played with Denver.
Davis. Was it
Terrell Davis?
He was dominant, but there were games where he wasn't a factor.
He was dominant in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He was dominant in the playoffs.
And the Super Bowl.
His Super Bowl runs are what got him into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. It wasn't his play throughout his career.
And because he didn't talk about Terrell Davis.
No, but he had a very short career. Oh yeah, if you pull up his stats, he didn't have crazy stats. So this is my question: who is the most dominant back in today's league? Not necessarily for he's big and strong and fast. I mean, because of the consistency, and do we have it if we can't name them?
Dominant?
Yes. What's up? Gerard? What's up?
John said he disagree.
Of course, Mr. Greaves.
Because, I mean, the last team that won the championship didn't have a dominant back.
Right. But they had the most dominant quarterback in this generation. So it kind of evens out.
Dump truck.
They also had
Thank you, dump truck.
They had a tight end that they used as a back. So let's keep that in mind. And he's not short. He's not little. He's not,
So that, so that was just my question, because I'm like, I guess we could say that Henry is probably the dominant back of this generation.
Right.
But
he's little.
But you talk about 2000, yeah, and he's been way more injured than not.
Yeah,
not since he got to San Francisco. Now Carolina, he stayed hurt at Carolina.
Who you talking about?
I'm thinking of some times in the playoffs where he wasn't even really doing much. To me, it's cool once you can get to a system like that and do what you do.
Right.
But y'all were ineffective when it mattered most. That's the problem.
He stayed hurt in California. I mean, in Carolina. He stayed hurt in Carolina.
Facts.
Now, when old boy went down with San Francisco,
talking about Debo,
it was 9 men in the box. you gonna have to beat us. They made sure McCaffrey wasn't gonna be the one to do it. They put 9. True or false? They put 9.
No. I agree with you, but this is the thing. He was in the box. I mean, he in the backfield too. So that's what they doing wishbone back there anyway.
Who's the threat? Who's the threat to throw the ball? They ain't had no threat to throw the ball.
No, Brandon Ayuk. That's the problem. No, hold on. That's the problem. That's why Ayuk was trying to get out of there, because they didn't throw him the ball.
That's true.
There's a touchdown that they missed.
His arm was jacked up.
Who? Oh, it's always something with their quarterbacks. That's the problem. Yeah, that's the issue. They can't. They listen. The one y'all got now. Oh, he can do a lot of things. The quarterback ain't one of them.
But that's why he wasn't in charge of that.
You say he wasn't?
Mm-mm.
Well, maybe he should have been. I'm confused.
I'm talking about now.
Oh, well, good.
Now he's not in charge of that. So,
because I could have swore y'all was gonna get that quarterback from Michigan at first. But anyway, I wanted to give context on that, because I'm like, I was just wondering. Of course, we know they're trying to disrespect and do away with the running back position in certain ways. But I'm like I said before, one team wins a Super Bowl a year ago if they run the ball in Philadelphia, and the other team actually ends up winning because they decide to run the ball in the second half. So it still matters just as it did years ago. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that it doesn't matter if it's a big back or a small back. You want to unbig your back in general.
I knew he was going to do
it. Hey, it just came to me. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. But
leave it.
McCaffrey is better than Daniels. Who is Daniels?
Who yet? Who is Daniels?
Daniels.
I don't think McCarthy's better. You talking about our coach? Is better than who is Daniels? I'm assuming he's talking about Mike McCarthy is better than Daniels. I don't know who Daniels is, but no, I don't think Mike McCarthy's worth a darn as a coach. That's a whole nother situation, though.
He ain't worth a darn.
He ain't worth a darn. So anyway, we can move on with the docket, sir. I'm sorry.
No, you good. So that being said, we're gonna move over to the NBA playoffs.
What are my thoughts on Marvin Harrison? I think we're in a time of empowerment for collegiate players, for players in general. And I think that this is just par for the course. You can sue him all you want to, but these guys have now. If he has a binding contract, that's a whole different situation,
right? And that's what I was telling you. That's what they said, that he signed.
Yeah, if he has a binding contract, player, you're gonna have to sign some stuff. But otherwise, these players get to do what they want now, and I'm not mad at it. They're gonna have to find a balance, but you had to do something because the NIL, was breathing down your neck. Players were threatening not to play, so you had to do something. But at the same time, I agree with it. I'm sorry. We need to put more power. A lot of the Boogie Cousins and the Chris Webbers, these guys were penalized and couldn't get a free meal at a time where they could have used it the most. And the universities are making hundreds of millions of dollars. So I don't feel sorry for you.
Todd Gurley. He got suspended.
Todd Gurley definitely had a short stint with his
running back. They got suspended.
His knees was paper mache. He was Mr. Unbreakable, but he definitely had a run for sure. Torched us a few times in the playoffs. So, well, for what that's worth.
Okay, with that being said, we're gonna move over to one of the things that's going on right now: the NBA Conference Finals. We're gonna go ahead and start with the one that's already in session: the Indiana Pacers versus the Boston Celtics.
Yep.
So, Eastern Conference. Who you got?
Bruh, I mean, we got to be kidding ourselves to think Boston is not going to wipe the floor with these guys at some point. I just think it's a talent thing when it comes to Indiana. So I heard today it was like they won 60-something games compared to the 40-something. Now, I will say this. When you talk about a coach like Rick Carlisle versus anybody, if somebody has the mind to be able to overcome something like this, it's him. But not in today's NBA. I don't think. You can't. It's only so many tricks you could do. Give me Boston. I think they win in 6, and I'm being generous with that.
Okay. Lady A.
I'm actually with Ant's brother. I don't care. I'm serious. Like, I don't think I've ever cared less.
Yeah.
Before. What is this about? Like, I'm not a fan of either team. So any, mini, money, mo. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, but I will say this. Let's go back because I did want to get you guys take away from what we've seen the series before.
Okay.
I will say the Knicks, if they could get some better, I'm not even gonna say if they can stay healthy because they haven't been healthy, and that was my argument. With Collins at work was
right.
They ain't been healthy, bro. That's been an issue the last couple of years. Randall's has been hurt a lot actually. And he's a key cog to that system. If they can get some better players that can stay healthy in that system, they could be a real problem.
Yeah.
Because Brunson is the real deal. Ex-Maverick, Cadero, so for you to say you don't care, if we don't lose Brunson,
he got a broken forearm.
Yeah, I know. But they still push them boys to the limit with him having a broken forearm. Right. So I gotta give respect to the Knicks, man. And the Pacers, they did what they were supposed to do. What can I say? Yeah.
Right. And that's not a good feeling for me. They weren't extraordinary.
I think that with the way the Pacers showed up in this last game, it was on the road. They showed up. They dominated. I mean, because that game they was up by 20-25 points. They dominated. They were on the road shooting like they was shooting at their home gym. Just putting them up. I mean, they was taking care of business.
Right.
I think that even after we see the score early in the first quarter, it's a close game. They're playing in Boston.
Right.
They them going into the third quarter. I don't even know scores right now. And I mean, late in the second, with them still having a chance.
Yeah, it's 52-47.
I mean, the Pacers haven't been to the championship, and they haven't won.
When have they been to the championship? Did they make it with Reggie?
Yeah, they lost to.
Now
you're gonna make me look this up.
Yeah, right.
Houston. Portland. Who did they lose? No, not Portland, because Portland ain't won.
I had to look it up.
It had to be Houston.
They haven't been there. They haven't been there in years. The last time they were in the playoffs. George is on the team before he has to get traded.
Paul George
is on the team.
Oh yeah,
and they lost.
That was pre-broken leg George too.
Yeah,
that boy was a problem. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
that's when I was a huge Bron fan too. That was before I came to my senses.
But I think I'm gonna take the Pacers in 7 in this series. I'm gonna take the Pacers in 7.
Really?
Yeah, I think the Pacers.
They lost.
Then they let on. They're gonna be trouble. I mean, right now it's 55-52, 3:48 left in the second quarter for halftime. In the game they're playing in Boston.
You hear me? They lost to the Lakers, y'all.
Huh?
Okay, Lakers. I wanted to say Lakers, but I was like,
it was in 2000.
Okay.
So.
Okay, there we go. All right.
I mean,
I knew it was. I wanted to say Lakers, but I was like, no way. Okay.
I thought it was before that. I thought it was.
Me too. That's what it was. That's why I didn't want to say Lakers. I'm like, it had to be that year.
I knew it had been a while.
Hey,
I knew it had been a while.
4 years ago. So
listen, I didn't hit my prime yet, but last time they made it. I wasn't even. I just started puberty.
Hey, so then we're gonna move over to Ant's side of the court that he liked to hear so more. His side he can talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Dallas Mavericks.
And the
Game
fake
one is tomorrow night.
In the fake face of the NBA, Anthony Edwards. Listen, this is no disrespect. We've been talking about this for a few days, actually. First of all, let me just say, I understand they're not gonna let a foreign player be the face of the NBA for good reason, because there's no personality. We just seen the Joker complain and cry and gripe about playing in the Olympics. You crybaby whiny man. Okay, it's cool to love your family and want to be back home and be all of that stuff, but you've made tons of money. You've won your championship and 3 MVPs.
You're not playing with us,
huh?
He won't be playing with us. He'll be playing with his home squad.
That's fine, but that's an honor to play with your home squad against whoever in the Olympics. And as we've seen, if they're not on their game, and it's up for grabs if USA ain't on their game. We assume because Brian them are gonna be there that it's gonna be a walk in the park. They ain't the dream team or the redeem team for that matter. So, I'm serious, they not. So it's like, but I don't like that. So congratulations to Minnesota. We thought they were dead in the water. You know, Denver. Sorry, don't want to upset Lady A here.
Right.
Denver runs off 3 straight before they get what they got. You know what I'm saying? I think it shows that Denver, to lose the first 2 games at home anyway, even not so much that Minnesota's just of the age now. I think Denver wasn't who they were, and they needed a lot of breaks. They lost a lot of players, as most championship teams do, when you actually are able to ascend to that top level. You know, people start looking at your assistant coaches. They start, picking up your players. We already are struggling to keep as a guy. What's the guy? Dang it, something Junior. I can't think of his name. Crap, but he's a really good player. And we're already trying to figure out how to keep him, because he's one of the big reasons that we've made it to the Western Conference Finals.
Right.
So,
Hardaway Jr.?
No. He's trash. Get rid of him. No, I can't think of his name.
So
Jones Jr. No, Tim Hardaway Jr. is so trash.
Oh my goodness.
He's garbage. I'm not even being funny.
He's not living up to the name.
He's the reason that we won game 2 or something like that. And then he went right back to being who he is.
Aww.
Just a streaky, regular player. But it's Jones Jr. is the guy I'm talking about with the braids. He's been dunking crazy. He's been on the stat sheet crazy. But anyway, to my Mavericks. I think it's Mavericks in 6 here. I'm just going to be honest with you. This is not biased. I think that they have some key cogs. I think Minnesota has some key cogs. Anthony Edwards has not proven that he's the dog that he needs to be. I wish they would stop comparing him to Jordan, because it's actually laughable and retarded, or silly. Let me say it that way. It's very silly. And he's 23. And Karl Anthony Towns is not consistent. He's often banged up, so you can't rely on him either. They're a good young team. They had just the right parts to get rid of a team like Denver. But I really would like to see how good that defense is going to translate against Kyrie, against Lively, against Gafford, because those guys are at the rim, ready to go to work. Pause. And Luka seemed to have taken another step here in that game 6 to close it out. Down 17, mind you. We got PJ Washington. All the guys we acquired at the trade. This is what I want people to realize. You can't look at the season series and let that depict anything what you think about this series, because number one, we're in the playoffs and everything, all bets are off. But number 2, the Mavericks were a totally different team after getting PJ Washington, Gafford, and then also, Lively getting some more reps and maturing. So I think it's a great series, but I think that the Mavericks are going to be too big on the front. It sounds so crazy. They're going to be too big on the front to be able to hold down those guys from making it Lob City, especially if you have the guy who gave the world the NBA COVID is your only rim protector. And I think Kyrie.
Did you get the NBA COVID?
He did.
Yeah, he absolutely gave. That Frenchman gave the NBA COVID. Absolutely. So
he got it first and then just spread.
Yeah, he's the reason for the bubble. Thanks a lot. So and LeBron got a weak championship because of it. So we appreciate you.
He's so shady.
But anyway, Mavericks in 6. And I think that Luka and Kyrie act a fool.
Well,
Later,
I'm gonna say this. Number 1, John, I really don't know of anything that I like from Detroit.
That pizza's overrated, in my opinion.
I mean, Detroit. That's not. They're not even famous for their pizza. Like that's not. No. But anyway, again, the Western Conference. I don't really care about either. I will say this. I will say this though. I think that the game that I think the Mavs will take it. However, I feel as though the Timberwolves are going to give them a hard time. And I think that it's going to be difficult, more difficult than Ant would probably care to.
I'm not arguing with you, actually.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the last two games, you know, both were very close for both teams. They barely won these games. It wasn't like, oh, they won by a landslide. Like the Pacers and the Knicks, that was almost a 30-point game. Well, like maybe 20. But the Timberwolves won by like 8, maybe. And then the Mavs won by 1 point. It was close. So I feel like this game, I don't know, you know, maybe they're tired, both teams. I don't know.
Can you style point that though? As you continue to elevate in the playoffs, can you style point how you win? You know what I'm saying?
You can, but it also depends on your other team. When you look at the way that they played and the way and the competition and that, you know, that they put forth, you know, the game that they had, I'm looking and I'm like, you know, every team doesn't do well, you know, after and that's in any sport. After the regular season, every team doesn't do well. Sometimes you gassed out, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Not to say that they are, but I'm just saying it's a different type of play. And based off of what I'm saying, I think that this is going to be close. I would give the Mavs just a little bit more than you would for the Timberwolves, but other than that,
I like the cut of your jib. I like the cut of your jib.
Just a little bit more, you know. And real talk, this could go to 7. This could go in the way the NBA is.
I want that to be my final prediction, but I'm gonna stick with the Mavs in 6.
Yeah,
I would not be surprised.
But I'm like,
I wouldn't be surprised if it went 6. Honestly, yeah.
look at say it. Oh,
I mean 7. What that mean? Is that a key word for something?
Oh, that's part of the pick leader. Okay, my bad.
Oh, Louise, bro, not in basketball. You can't do that, dog. You can't do that, dog. See what I'm saying?
Okay. I'll just play. I'm gonna take it on a second. I think this is gonna be a very interesting series. I think that you're right, Edwards. He was a little bit off on his game in the last game or so, but he did enough in that game to help them out when he really needed it down the stretch. Which is gonna help him as they move forward into this series against Dallas. Dallas also needs to worry about Luka playing defense because he got exposed in his last series until they made an adjustment.
Really?
Yes, they made an adjustment. Go back to game 2 or game 3, 1 or 2, and they switched Luka up to the top of the key and blow by him to the rim. They did. And then they made an adjustment to where who Luka was guarding was off on one of the wings. They made the adjustment. Now the other team, they made the adjustment afterwards, but they made the adjustment. So, you know, and that's why he struggled a little bit in 1 and 2 before he got back to where he was. Now, I like the way the Minnesota team is set up. Towns came in and bailed out, you know, Minnesota when Edwards was off his game. He had some really bad shots in the last game. He did. He took 24 of them. He had some air balls. So
you said he got a mid range now. That's what you said.
Yeah, I mean, this last game he struggled. Before that, he was straight. This last game, he was really off. This last game, he was really off this last game, and I'm not gonna say now how he comes out against Dallas in game 1 is gonna set the tone, because remember, these guys have won on the road a lot this year, so playing on the road is not going to affect them as much as it's going to affect everybody else. I do think it's going 7. and it could go either way. I like the Mavs, and I like Minnesota. I like both of these teams.
Stand on your pick now, Pickmaster.
I think the winner of this team here wins it all.
I like it. I like the way you're talking.
Okay.
I think the winner of the series wins it all. If it could be Minnesota, it could be Dallas. It's a coin flip. I don't know.
I'll say this. I think my brother did make a good point. Luka is definitely hurt. I'm not saying his defense. I'm not saying his defense is amazing, but I think he's played a lot more defense than what people give him credit for. I've seen him in the passing lanes. I've seen him moving his feet, switching actually on screens and things like that, diving for balls. Like I've literally seen him take it up a notch to where even though he's a whiny dude, he's a whiny man. On the defensive end, I've seen him give way more effort than I've ever seen, and I think it's kind of gave a little spark to the team. That's what I say. But what is your final pick again? I just want to get a pick at you now. I want to get a prediction now.
It's a coin flip, man. I said it. I do think
he said any, many, mighty mo.
He said it's a pick 'em. He just can't.
It's a pick 'em.
We're professionals, man. We got to make a pick here.
He said that whoever wins it.
Minnesota and
Minnesota 7.
Okay.
7. Okay.
Okay. I just want to hold your feet to the fire now.
You're not saying it's gonna be easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so let me
agree with you. Whoever wins that will win it all, because you look at the Pacers and the Celtics, and I just don't see either one of them winning it. Not for no.
Hey, if that's the case, we got to talk about it as a time to blow it up in Boston, if that happens. But question, and I got to add in one other person, right? So I said if we're redrafting players, now a few of these guys are number 1 picks anyway, but if we're redrafting and we're starting with what we've seen in this playoffs, we got Joker, we got Anthony Edwards, we got Luka, we got Shai Gilgeous, and we are gonna throw in Jason Tatum. I'm sorry. Jason Tatum.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No disrespect. Who we picking 1 through 5? Give me your order.
What? You just named like 20 people. You got to do that.
No. We got Joker.
Okay.
Anthony Edwards, Luka, Shai Gilgeous.
Luka wasn't drafted by the Mavs.
That doesn't matter a hill of beans. We talking about if you can rank these players. We're saying rank these players. That's all we saying.
He wasn't drafted by the Mavs.
This is what you don't realize, though. He was never gonna be in Atlanta. They were gonna swap from the beginning.
Wait, so that's why you brought that up, Sam?
Yes.
Yes. Sam, that's not what we talking about right now.
He was drafted by Atlanta, lady. I can't.
We know you mad.
Let me tell you something. I'm
on the sideline.
Because I was like, why he bring that up? But
he's not gonna let that go. Do you hear me?
Look at that.
Did he take himself on camera?
Come back.
Don't worry. I'm gonna give you my order.
Okay, go ahead.
It's hard because Joker has a championship. But the fact that he is such a I hate basketball guy, I can't put him at number 1. That's can't.
True, because he don't got the heart. But go ahead.
I gotta go with what I believe is the best all-around player. That is Luka.
Okay.
Drafted by the Hawks.
Yes, thank
you. Number two.
Mm-hmm.
I think we would be kidding ourselves if we didn't draft Shai Gilgeous-Alexander next.
Okay.
That dude, some of the shots he made all series were just flat out impressive, and you don't get to see him play a lot, but he deserved to win the MVP over Luka. I got to give it to him. I'm sorry.
So why is he not number 1?
Because he's not a better all-around player. But for this year, he definitely, and he's continued to progress to make his team better every year. It's because I'm like, you can't really name a number 2 that he has that's like just like that. Like he got the 7'4" guy that came from Gonzaga, but he ain't doing nothing. So for that reason, I think he was probably the better player this year overall. He didn't score more than Luka. He didn't have more assists, but he did for his team more than even what Joker or Luka did. So that's why I say that. Number 3.
Gotcha.
I can't be disrespectful at that point. I gotta go. Well, you know what? I'm going Jason Tatum. I don't know why I want to call that man Brandon so bad.
Yeah.
But I'm going Jason Tatum. Okay.
Really?
His, you know what I don't like? His game is so slow and methodical, and he shoots all. I just can't stand it. It's hard to look at. Okay.
So, but if it's slow to look at, what you put him where?
He's number 3 because he's still a baller. I don't know how he gets off the way he does, but he does. He's a baller. I can't take that away from him.
He moves like a dinosaur, but he a baller.
But he get busy now. We can't. Well, Joker won MVP, and he's the most dinosaurish of them all. Number 4, I got to go Anthony Edwards at that point, and then Joker, you're last, buddy. Yeah, you take your little crybaby self on home. I'm serious. I don't get out of here. You cry. I can't. He makes me mad with that. Oh, not the Olympics. I don't want to think about basketball. Get out of my face. So anyway, that's my 1 through 5.
That's crazy. And we have a very similar. I would switch Edwards and Tatum.
Okay. So Edwards at 3, Tatum at 4.
Yep. And Joker, I mean, trust and believe, it's hard for me to say this. Maybe it's a cancer thing. But the last place goes to the man with no heart. He's good. Can you imagine how good he would be if he had heart?
Yeah.
Like I feel like when it boils down to it, like if you are in a fight, right? The person with the heart is gonna get it through. He's not. He has the talent, but you gotta have heart somewhere in there, and he doesn't. So I feel like, let's say it's Jordan fourth quarter, in the words of Genuine, Jordan fourth quarter in 92.
She quote Genuine.
I'm just saying he's not going to be able to do that. He's not going to be able, you got to have heart to do certain things. So you can't truly be great if you ain't have no heart. So there you go. But yes,
you may be right. You may be right. I'm not even going to argue with you on that. It actually, he's missing something probably down lower than his heart is what it is. Yeah. That's what I say.
And
I'm done with it. I just wanted to say that.
I swear. Hold on, Sid. Let me just collect this money.
Am I wrong? You still ain't paid me for 2 years ago. You can take that fine. You know,
money.
You can take that fine and put it in the Joker short.
Fine. Because why did you say that about that man?
Because he's like, oh man, brother. I don't want to hear all that. Oh no.
But I mean, truthfully, John, I know I'll be the first to say it. It's disheartening to see him like you just don't have any drive. You have all this talent, and it makes me think back to when I was young, and people like, you're not applying yourself, stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's what he does.
Yeah,
and here you are, you're a grown man, you're a professional, and he doesn't even enjoy the opportunity or doesn't understand the opportunity he has. He's like, I'm going to work.
Yeah, comes off as ungrateful. I agree.
Yep.
So,
I'm going to put on record. I don't want to participate.
And why? Why is that?
I would take the Atlanta Hawks.
Say it now. Come on now. Say it.
He said, if Luka can't be counted as a Hawk, I don't want it.
Say it. You gotta move it now.
He said if I gotta
include Luka, he going in as a Hawk.
What, the Hall of Fame? He said the state of Georgia is getting the raw deal all around.
Yeah, I can agree. I would go Luka.
Shay.
I would go Luka, Edwards, SGA, Tatum, and then Joker. That's
why are you drinking that Kool-Aid like that, bro? I just want to know.
But you put Edwards all the way down at number 4.
And you just flipped him up one spot. That I can't be too far off.
I don't think he need to be all the way down at 4, though. I mean,
hold on. If we're being fair, one of these guys have won a championship.
Right.
One guy's been to the Western Conference Finals twice. Tatum's been to the finals. Anthony Edwards has done nothing but some good dunks.
Not yet.
And what he did in the last game is actually laughable. He's lucky that his team showed up. He's lucky that Joker doesn't care, John. He's lucky that Joker doesn't care about being great at basketball. He just wants to be good. Otherwise, he'd be at home too. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I think the kid is good. I think he can be great at some point. But I think we need to pump the brakes. We just looking for the next black kid to be the face of the NBA. That's all I'm saying.
But it does. If that's the case, it doesn't necessarily have to be him.
It does, because he's actually on the court. The other guy, he's at target practice right now.
Oh my God.
The other guy throwing up gang signs. The other guy's still going to his high school fighting kids. I mean, we don't got to get into it.
We got to do this.
We don't even got to get into it. You're right.
How this man get in? I ain't say no names. I ain't. Dang.
Oh, John.
Okay.
That's actually not even a good point. That's just cold.
So as we move on, we're gonna move on right quick and get to another subject. So we run out of time here on the OG Classic.
Yes,
we're gonna move on to the WNBA.
Okay.
To Ant's special player, Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
So the team that Caitlin Clark is currently on is something she haven't done throughout her whole college career. They're 0-4. So Ant says, has the hype died off and she's already ready for the NBA to step up, WNBA to step up? What you think?
I think it's a good question to be posed here. I think you can get so caught up in the glitz and the glamour of it that if we look at the dynamic of Bird and Magic, because that's the comparison that we often get, they won. And it's early. Don't get me wrong. It's early. And we know the Lakers already had some stuff that they inherited, so I get it. But Bird went and made them boys better immediately. They both went and said, hey, it's our turn. So I just wonder if the hype continues. Are they still going to be selling out? Is it going to be people still packing out stadiums if they keep losing? And is she really ready? Because I don't think she's had an explosive game just yet. I mean, she averaged 20. I think that's what she'll always do. But can she hit 40? Can she wield them to, like, you get what I'm saying? Now, can she start making the other girls better? Like, that's what I want to see. And until I see it, I ain't going to watch it.
So she's not going to make the other girls better because she hasn't won them over in any way, shape, or form. They're not taking kindly to her. And I think, number one, when you Google her, what do you see? You see nothing about her averaging 20 points a game.
Right.
You see the Wilson. Oh, she got this deal. She make this money. She got that. It's not about basketball right now.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. If you are a basketball player, where you're going to get that longevity is playing basketball.
Yes.
Because what happens when that hype dies down a little bit? Now, I will say it's only the fourth game. They only have 4 games. Okay, it's a little early. Give her a little bit of time. But at the same time, maybe the reason why it seems like her head isn't in the game is, number one, she's focused on all this other stuff, this outside noise. And then on top of that, when is she going to be able to gel with her teammates? Because it's been said they didn't take too kindly to her when she came on. So those are the things we have to look at.
Thank you, John, for catching that, actually.
Mm-hmm. Right.
John said, physics question.
Yeah, how is he going to do something?
Physics question is sending me, actually.
Yeah,
How is Ant going to see something if he won't watch it until he sees it?
Something wrong with you, Ant.
Because let's be clear here, guys. I'm absolutely team hype train. I don't really watch WNBA basketball. But I do believe that there is some key components that could make me want to tune in.
Right.
And she has to win. I'm sorry.
Right.
You don't get to come into this situation, lose, even drop 30. It doesn't matter. The fact that you were able to take down top teams and then go against the LSUs and the South Carolinas and the UConn, that's what we cared about. If you don't come and start to have a level of dominance, it will quickly die off. And that's just the nature of the game.
Indeed. And you making all this money, and she's the first basketball player since Jordan to get their own basketball and blah blah blah. Okay.
She's definitely the darling, the media darling, and
Yeah,
that's
she
the way they
just-
wanted
she
it.
just got another.
Keep you there. You gotta win a game. You gotta step it up.
She just got another endorsement deal today as
Crazy.
well.
Yeah.
Well, she'll get the crown a bed full of money.
She's well above everybody else at this point.
Well, she came in the door just off her NIL deals, well above everybody else. So keep that in mind. So you have to show that you are a professional in this sport and you deserve everything you got.
Yeah,
that's what people are looking for, and that's a conversation right now.
Show us why you belong. Show us why you
deserve hype this over her head.
Because if I'm locking you up on a nightly basis, I deserve it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was trying to see if they had the numbers on it, but they don't have the numbers on it. For about what it is. I think that's like probably her third or fourth major endorsement they talked about. I think that one was with Wilson.
Right.
So that's like her third or fourth major endorsement, that she has going for her. So if anybody in WNBA is making the money, whatever her salary is, she making the money.
She the one that's really getting
she was making more than everybody else in college. She was making what, $5 million?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, her NIL deal had her at like 5.
I
take that back. I'm sorry. It was 3. It was 3.1. So she was 3.1 from her NIL earnings. That's way more than anybody else in the WNBA. And you getting all this hype, and then you come in and you're not making a difference in your team.
True.
So that's the problem.
So yeah, I just wanted to pose that because I'm like, it's funny how we probably don't even talk about it with the same type of vigor that we may have a couple weeks ago. The draft came and went. It was a bunch of hot siding and roasting her, but it wasn't a bunch of like, there's been no big fanfare that I could say that I've heard. So
yeah.
All right. Last but not least, we're gonna hit this last one for the day. Boxing. Ant's favorite sport. Tyson Fury is it
Alexander Usyk. I was gonna say you bringing up the tight end from the Colts, ain't it? You check. But yeah, Alexander Usyk.
Alexander Usyk. They fought this weekend and somebody got their head beat in.
Well, I think Tyson Fury definitely had a broken nose.
I'm about to say.
I think Alexander Usyk, I think Fury tried to say that his jaw was broken. I don't believe that. Maybe it was. I don't know. But a great fight. Tyson Fury, first of all, we haven't had an undisputed champion in over, I think it was like 20 years. Since what's my guy from Britain? Darn it.
Are you talking about Lennox?
Lennox. Yes. Lennox was the last undisputed champion at heavyweight. As we know, heavyweight is the darling of the boxing community. So anytime we can have an undisputed champion there, it's great for boxing. You're talking about Alexander Usyk coming up from cruiserweight, man, and he had set his sights on Fury when Fury beat Vitaly Klitschko years ago to become champion. And so he set out and he accomplished his goal. Definitely want to say kudos. He rocked him at one point, man, and Fury was out on his feet. He was bouncing around that ring like flubber because he's built terribly. He's got a bunch of fat on the inside of that body, but
and the outside,
and the outside too. Fat is coming from the outside, inside, and on the outside. But it was a great fight though. For whatever reason, they didn't stop the fight in the 9th when he had him out on his feet. Fury bounced back like a true champion. Actually made it an interesting fight, but Alexander Usyk eked out a 1-point split decision win. And so I believe the plan is for them to fight again in October. And so we got a lot of great boxing going on. And so looking forward to that, but definitely love finally seeing this fight because these are the top guys. They cleaned out the heavyweight division.
Yeah.
And for those who actually watch, Jared Big Baby Anderson, he's got a long way to go. Because I think both of them could possibly beat him at this point because he's just not he's kind of like Joker. He's just good at it. He doesn't love it. And so I think he's got a lot of growing up to do, but he could eventually give these guys a great run for their money. But shout out to Alexander Usyk, the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. He really did his thing. Beat Anthony Joshua twice. He deserved it, and he went out there and made it happen. So definitely wanted to touch that for all you other guys. And I think Bruce asked me about my stars. I believe that we're gonna win in 6, and we're going to the Stanley Cup Finals, baby. I don't know what to tell you. We took down the ones we took down the ones that got the big D.
Go to sleep.
Knights.
Go.
Vegas Knights.
Go.
They walking around swinging and banging, and all we did was go in there and dethrone the champions. You see, swinged and banged harder than they did. So anytime you can do that, because me and Sam, we talked about it. They come in, they strong, they veiny. They come in, they hitting against everything. And we just come through and we shut all that down. So shout out to my Dallas Stars. We got 2 teams in the Western Conference Finals, man. And it's a good time to be a fan in Dallas, man.
I'm sure. But I want to say this. I'm so happy. I've never liked Tyson Fury. So I'm really I don't. First of all, I'm gonna have a problem when you beat up Black Panther and Black History Month. That's I'm already gonna have a problem with you. But the fact that he does not, when you look at him, you do not think boxer because you say he bad built. Yeah, he is. What is going on? Somebody beat this man up. And so that's what I was quite pleased. I'm just gonna be real with you.
Oh, okay. Well, not to add on the Ant talk about the Dallas Stars beating on Vegas. I mean, they did go in there. Vegas did and start short sticking, so they started missing stuff left and right. Dallas was doing circles around that goal, so they couldn't find it for a minute there. They couldn't hit the hole to save their life. So hey, it is what it is. Good job,
I know Droopy ain't coming in here with Ant.
Way to protect it. Way to protect everything from the top side.
Oh my goodness.
Way to be a power top instead of a power bottom. What? Huh? Do you hear me?
The both.
With that being said, that's our show for the night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Ant got to run. He got to get him something to eat. He got to catch his food for a run away from
groceries. I got to go make groceries.
He got to get the groceries
in Louisiana.
He got to get the groceries. Pick is out on assignment. He didn't make it this time, so he should be here on Saturday. Thank Lady A for coming in, bringing the fines and the sunshine at the same time.
Today.
Hey, check us out on Saturday. We're under 100 days to college football. We're under 100 days of college football. We're excited. Like it's right around the corner. I can just almost it's so close. So close.
Brother talking about.
Hey,
you acting the fool.
Almost never wrong.
What? Almost never wrong.
Almost. I mean, what is he? You must be talking something about the Stars. We were just joking, man. You're saying. We talking about the Vegas Knights. We be joking. I'll tell you about it.
Hey, we'll talk to that online. But again, thank you guys. Thank you very much. Join us again. This is First Stream Podcast.
Ready for your beats? All right, faster than the person.